My name is Aming'a. I'm a faculty at the Strathmore Business School and a co-program lead for the Bachelor's of Science in Supply Chain and Operations Management. Some of the trends in supply chain management, I'd like to put them into 5 pointers: supply chain transformation, adaptation and mitigation. And then we have the aspect of digitization. And then, of course, with speculations of edging towards a global economic recession. And then there's the importance of collaborating across supply chains and building end-to-end supply chain visibility, and the importance of demand forecasting. So if I may go back to supply chain transformation, adaptation and mitigation, basically we talk about sustainability and resilience. With so many conversations around sustainability and so many regulations coming up, supply chains have no choice than to be sustainable. And this starts from their procurement facet all down to the logistics facet. For instance, from procurement, supply chains need to inculcate responsible sourcing into their supply chains. And this doesn't end when they get the materials. They need to monitor what their suppliers do. So do supplier audits, check compliance checks, and do continuous monitoring and evaluation to ensure that the suppliers they engage with really are sustainable. And also they could look into their production, how to make it more cleaner. And this means supply chains need to check on their choice of technologies, their choice of equipments and machineries, and so that they see what is the level of energy bill coming from such choices. Supply chains could also inculcate smart logistics into their supply chains. We are in an era whereby we're talking about electric vehicles, and so supply chains could have a choice of having electrical vehicles than the normal vehicles, because electrical vehicles have been alluded to lack the internal combustion engine, and that means lower GHG emissions to supply chains from a transportation perspective. And also supply chains need to close their loop through practices that are reverse logistics oriented. And that means encompassing the concept of circular economy that is globally widely spoken about towards reduction of waste and all those kind of things to ensure really supply chains are cleaner. So from a transformation perspective, we talk about sustainability, then adaptation and mitigation, we talk about resilience. With COVID-19 and so many other disruptions, we can't really miss to talk about building resilient supply chains. And the foundation of this is building a risk management culture as the foundation of transitioning to resilience, because what most supply chains knows across the globe is how to work with risk management rather than resilience. So it's better risk management acts as a foundation as they transition to resilience. And what this means is a supply chain to be able to map out their risks, understand their vulnerabilities, the exposure points, so that they can be able to build that resilience. But also of most importance in building resilience is supply chains to be cognizant of the underrated type of risks, which is the supply chain climate-related risk disruptions that really massively affect supply chains. So beyond that, then, we have these speculations across the globe of edging towards a global economic recession. All the red flags are there. For instance, the inflation rates are up there, the interest rates are going up. It's like the central banks are harmonizing towards a higher interest rate. But also to bring the facts aboard, the International Monetary Fund last year, 2022, reported that inflation rates worldwide is at 8.8%. So this means to the supply chain is that the spending power for consumers will go down. And once that goes down, then supply chains need to learn how to properly do demand forecasting and learn a balance between just-in-case supply chains and just-in-time supply chains. And beyond that, there's also the aspect of digitization. There are so many debates that we are in the fourth industrial revolution. But some regions like Europe are transitioning to the fifth industrial revolution. And so it's important that these supply chains understand what that means. For instance, how to harness the power of artificial intelligence in their demand forecasting, for instance, and also even in optimizing their routes, towards the lowest total cost of ownership that really troubles supply chains. And then finally, there is an aspect of collaboration and end-to-end supply chain visibility. With globalization and this world, of course, becoming a small, village in the business space, supply chains, we like priding ourselves in extended supply chains. But with extended supply chains, there is a burden. And actually then we need to talk about shorter supply chains. And that means a shorter supply chain is a happier supply chain, which can strengthen these relationships among, stakeholders, creating that value-based, futuristic supply chain ecosystem.